Jai Gurudev to all of you. Myself Rohit Dutt, and I'm taking your business studies. So, students, in our previous class, we have done four principles of management given by Fayol, and today remaining will be continued. Before I start again, I would like to remind you that please go through the PDF of this chapter. And one more message: please follow the guidelines of lockdown, stay home, and be safe. Coming to our first point number fifth, fifth principle, that is unity of direction. So, according to this principle, one unit means one plan. That is, the effort of all the members and employees of organization must be directed towards one direction, that is the achievement of common goal. Got it? So if this principle is applied, it leads to coordination. So each department and a group having common objective must have one head and one plan only. Got it? So for example, if an organization is producing different lines of product like cosmetic, medicines, and confectionery, okay, item, each product have its own market and its own business environment. So each division must plan its target, and every employee of that division must put his effort towards the achievement of plan of their division under the direction of one head only. Got it? So let's see the positive effect of this. Positive effect will be achievement of organizational goals. Okay, then efforts of all the employees get unified towards one direction only. Got it? So this principle will help in achieving the objectives of an organization. Got it? Then consequences, there will be lack of coordination. If this principle is not being followed, then wastage of effort and resources by working in different direction, then difficulty in achieving organizational goals. Here you can see the uh, difference between unity of command and unity of direction. Okay, meaning, aim, and implication. Clear? Now coming to our sixth point, that is subordination of individual interest to general interest. So according to this principle, the interest of organization must supersede the interest of individuals or employees. In the organization, all the employees are working with some objective, and there is always an objective of organization. Got it? So if the objective of individual are in the same direction of organization, then there is no problem. But if the objective of both the groups are in different direction, then manager must try to reconcile individual interest with organizational goals. And if it is not possible, then individual goal must be sacrificed for achieving organizational goals. Got it? So the goal of organization must not be sacrificed, because individual will be able to achieve their objectives only when organizations prospers. Got it? So let us see the example. If individual objective is to earn more remuneration, and organization is going through the situation of financial crisis and has the objective of cutting down the expenses, so in this situation the individual must sacrifice his interest, as when organization will come out from financial crisis, then he can achieve his objective. Got it? So positive effect can be seen. If this principle is applied, then achievement of organization goals will be, there will be coordination between individual and organization goals also. See? Okay, now consequences. So there won't be any achievement of organizational goals if this principle is not followed. Then even employees will also suffer in a long run. Got it? Point number 7, that is remuneration of employees. So according to the according to this principle, employees in the organization must be paid fairly or adequately to give them maximum satisfaction. So the remuneration must be just and fair, because if employees are underpaid, they will not be satisfied, and an unsatisfied person can never contribute his maximum. Got it? So dissatisfaction will lead to increase in employees turnover. So to have stability in organization and to get maximum efforts from employees, the employee must be paid fairly. Got it? So the fair wage is determined according to uh, financial capacity of the concern, then by keeping in mind the minimum wage act of government or the wages and salaries paid by the competitors. Got it? Now let's see the example. So example can be, if in a particular year the organization has earned more profit, then apart from giving extra profit to shareholder and owners, some part of profit must be given to employees also in the form of bonus. Got it? So this will encourage and motivate to put more effort and increase the profit of the company. Now let's see the positive effects of this principle. So if this principle is followed, then employees get motivated, and then there will be devotion and commitment of employees improve. Got it? Now consequences. So it will increase in turnover of the employees and dissatisfaction and demotivation of employees. Got it? Then coming to point number 8, that is centralization and decentralization. Okay, so centralization refers to concentration of authority or power in few hands at the top level. Got it? And decentralization means evenly distribution of power at every level of management. So, according to Fayol, a company must not be completely centralized or completely decentralized, but there must be combination of both depending upon the nature and size of the organization. Got it? So, a small organization uh, can be well organized and managed with centralized technique, but in large organization there is a need for decentralization. Okay. Secondly, if employees are efficient and competent, then they can be trusted by having decentralization. But if employees are not fully developed and are less in number, then there must be centralization. Got it? So Fayol advised not to have complete centralization or complete decentralization, but a combination of both. For example, the major decisions and activities of setting up organizational goals, plan, policies, and strategies can be centralized, but there can be policy of decentralization for the activities of routine work, such as purchasing of raw materials, fixing targets and or targets of workers. Okay, so positive effects, let's see. So there will be benefit of centralization as well as decentralization, and there will be fast decisions at operational level and strict control by top level. And the consequences are like complete centralization will result in delay in decisions, and complete decentralization will result in misuse of the authority. Okay, then coming to next point, that is scalar chain. Okay, next principle is scalar chain. Scalar chain means line of authority or chain of superiors. Okay, you can see here line chain of superiors from the highest to lowest rank. Okay, so Fayol insists that this chain must be followed strictly on the organization. uh, okay, so every information must pass through this. Okay, like this, must pass through uh, every key of this chain. No skipping of anyone key should be allowed. So according to scalar chain principle, if E, okay, if E uh, wants to contact O, okay, if E want to contact O, if okay, so he has to move through E, D, B, then C to B, then A. Okay, you can see here A, L, M, N, O. Okay, so if this chain is broken, then there are chains of communication gap in the organization. But sometimes following scalar chain becomes a long process, and if some important information has to be passed, it gets delayed. So in the case of emergency, okay, and urgent information, Fayol permitted a shortcut in the chain which is called gangplank. So this one is called gangplank, Gangplank. Okay, so gangplank permits direct communication between the employees working at same level of authority without following the scalar chain. Okay, so for example, if E wants to pass some urgent information to O, then instead of following the long route of scalar chain, he can directly communicate with O by constructing a gangplank. But no gangplank can be constructed between the people working at different levels. That is, no gangplank between D and L. Okay, like this, D and L. So you cannot follow, like it cannot be like this. Okay. Then positive effects. There will be a systematic flow of information, then no communication gap in the organization. Okay, and what are the consequences? So consequences, there may be communication gap and no clarity in authority, responsibility, and uh, relationship.